All right, we did tell you we will be having our conversation focusing on Tanzania this morning. We're looking at the new president. She's over 17 days in. Now, the Tanzanian doctors are hoping that the new president, Samia Hassan, will bring positive changes to the country's questionable handling of the pandemic. Late President John Magufuli had long downplayed the severity of COVID-19, and now all eyes are on his successor, Hassan.
Well, unlike neighboring countries in East Africa like Uganda, Kenya, which imposed strict measures to combat the spread of the COVID-19 virus, in Tanzania, though, masks and social distancing were not made mandatory. But now, in what could be considered the first sign of change, if you may, the Tanzanian Ministry of Health last week released science-based coronavirus guidelines, including personal protective equipment for healthcare workers and masks for patients. Now, it is not clear what direction President Hassan will take, but the guidelines which were released have been described by many as a step in the right direction. Now, we're now joined by Samwel Mfanga, who joins us live from Arusha in northern Tanzania. He's a social crusader, and executive director, the Foundation for Africa Empowerment in Tanzania. Good morning, Samuel. Welcome to Breakfast Central.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to see you. Now, everyone is talking about the new president. Knowing the trajectory that the former president, John Magufuli, took when it comes to, managing the pandemic, what is your expectation now that the health ministry has come up with some guidelines for managing the pandemic? It seems like a departure from her predecessor, don't you think?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on this program and talking about the coronavirus pandemic in Tanzania. We have now a new president, Samia Hassan, and many people believe that there will be changes in the country. And we already seen that she is taking some bold steps to build her administration. Recently, we have seen that there has been a minor cabinet reshuffle. And just yesterday, we have had permanent secretaries who is a lower cadre just below the ministers. There has been a new change. Some have been kept, some have been left to go. And many people believe that the new direction President Samia Hassan is going to take regarding the coronavirus pandemic, I think it will be different from her predecessor, because even herself, she was seen in some of the occasions toward the last days of President Magufuli, that she was putting on a mask, and those photos went around and went viral.
Wow.
I think we have also seen some ministers who we are really very strong supporters, or we are siding with the President Magufuli, the late President Magufuli, on the coronavirus pandemic. And they never really took measures to protect themselves and protect others, like putting on face masks. But one of the local government, Minister for Local Government Authorities, was seen putting on a mask just after when President Magufuli passed away. So we believe, many people believe that she's now trying to build up her administration, but I think coronavirus pandemic will be one of our top priority, and she will take measures.
Okay, Sam.
And maybe do away with the President Magufuli's direction to downplay the pandemic crisis in the country.
Okay, Sam, you just talked about, President Hassan moving away from our previous predecessors' directive. Now, the WHO chief, Tedros Ghebreyesus, had previously described Tanzania's situation as, to quote his words, very concerning, but recently said he was ready to work with the new President Hassan. Now, do you see Hassan, the new president, making a move for perhaps a vaccine in Tanzania anytime soon?
Well, there is a possibility because, as I said earlier on, the new faces we see in the key ministries, like the Ministry for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, the former minister was a strong ally of the late President Magufuli. And Samia Suluhu Hassan has brought in a new renowned diplomat to run that ministry. So I think she's trying to now to have someone who will bridge the linkages with international organizations and also other countries. And I cannot say that she will not really touch upon the issue of the coronavirus pandemic. So we have seen that Samia Suluhu Hassan now, she's facing a renewed internal and the external pressure to come up with the measures which are internationally accepted, to acknowledge the existence of the coronavirus pandemic in the country, and also respond according to scientific principles.
All right, so, Samuel, while we are waiting for those huge momentum that will define the path that President Hassan will be taking, you mentioned something earlier about her being seen with face masks and some other persons in prominent position. How is that panning out? Is there a ripple effect? Are citizens now, prioritizing use of face masks and all of that?
Well, I think it is. We don't see that in many places because maybe it's too early. The late Magufuli just passed on a few weeks ago, and now we have Samia Suluhu Hassan. Still, many people are still living in that environment or within the legacy of President Magufuli. So I think we could see that happening when we see that she's taking bold steps, because even recently herself, she was seen with face mask once, and then later on in other occasions she was not seen with face mask. Likewise, the ministers in the government. So I think we have not seen that really like ripple effect, as you're saying, among the citizens, that they are now taking protective measures. But we believe that she has been given, or people give her benefit of doubt, that let her build up administration, the government, and have the powers in her hands, and then be able to give policy directions. And I think health will be one of our top priorities, because there's really very strong pressure from religion, especially the Catholic Church and the opposition political parties. So it's pressure from within and outside, and I don't see her really ignoring that at all.
All right. Pressure aside, politics aside, Samwel, the observers have talked about perhaps there might have been, or still is, a hidden pandemic of COVID-19 in Tanzania. With this administration, are we going to see the true numbers of what COVID-19 is in the country in this administration, or it will be the same from the former president?
Well, I think we might be able to see that, as I said earlier on. Samia Suluhu Hassan, for her to show a change of leadership, and people trying to see that there's a new leadership now, there's a new president, I think she will just have to do away with the past, to break with the past and come up with the new direction. And that's what she has said. We have seen it in a number of issues, which the late president used to really become very strong. With a strong position. He was very strongly opposed, like building relations with some developed countries, because he always saw them as enemies of his country. But I think Samia Suluhu Hassan has said already, now we have to bring bridges. We have to unify the country. Political parties, religious organizations, and also international community, so that we move as a unified country. Because one of the issues which really divided the country until now is the coronavirus pandemic, and the way it was really addressed by the late president.
Samwel, in the interest of time, let's take a step away from the pandemic for a bit and look at, her administrative style. It took her less than a month to get a vice president, and we know that there are some key appointments that has also been carried out. How is this impacting, perception about the trajectory that her presidency will take?
Yeah, yes, many people believe. I think the changes she has made so far make many Tanzania believe that the country will move in the different direction, because all the people Magufuli kept in those key positions or in his government, the late president, actually none of them, even if they had a different opinion, but they were not willing to air that out because of fear of being sacked, because he will never tolerate anybody who challenges or criticizes his positions or policies. But with Samia Suluhu Hassan, the changes she's making is she's sending a signal to the Tanzanians and also to the international community that Tanzania is coming back and is going to taking a new direction and do away with the past or the legacy of the President Magufuli. Actually, not everything should do away with them, but for the things which have become very controversial and somehow have not helped the Tanzanian country because of the
we certainly
positions.
Look forward to the new Tanzania under President Hassan. We only can hope for the best, especially her being your first female president. Nice. Thank you very much, Samwel, for joining us all the way from Tanzania.
Thank you so much for having me on this program.
It's our pleasure.
My pleasure.
All right. Quite interesting take there from Samwel.
Yes, I like the positivity, the reception so far, it's looking good. And she's come up, the people that she's appointing seem to be...
shuffle?
Yes, it seems to be resonating with the people. We're hoping that when we are talking 100 years of president, 100 days, I beg your pardon. Even I don't want to live to 100. 100 days of her presidency. We'll have something to be grateful for, that a woman is in power. Yeah,
I'm keen to really see where it all goes in terms of the COVID-19, pandemic in Tanzania. I'm just trying to imagine if a vaccine finally arrives in that country and the kind of international eyebrows that will then be raised. But let's not.
I mean, everybody won't be shocked. Yeah,
so
we won't be shocked if that happens because we know there is a change of baton. The President Magufuli is.
And what does that mean for the legacy of the?
Well, he did his time, he did his thing, and then who knows, maybe if he was alive at some point, he would have changed his mind and gone the path of vaccine, but we never can tell. We have President Hassan now, and we're wishing and hoping that she will do outstanding for the people of Tanzania. All right, we'll take a breather, and when we come back, we'll be talking sports.